So I'm just going to delete those text frames and let's go to File Place. And from the Support Files Documents subfolder, let's select Alice in Wonderland book Times and click Open. And notice, just like when we're placing an image by going to File Place, it creates a little preview of that photo where our cursor is. This creates a little bit of a preview of the text content that will be placed. So as I move the cursor around, notice it has the beginning of that text. And this is public domain, Alice in Wonderland. It's so old that it's in public domain, so that's why I can include it as a support file. So if I just click and let go, it flows it here within the margins. The problem is that this is not all the text. It has overset text, as we can see right here with the red plus sign in the lower right hand corner, and also the pre-flight error right here. So what I could do is I could click that, and I can add a page on the Pages panel here by clicking at the bottom there, the plus sign, and then I can click, and then that flows the next one. The problem with this approach is that I would have to do that many times. So what I can do instead is, now that I have another page, hold Shift, and that changes that cursor icon a little bit to that arrow, and then click and let go. And that will flow that entire text from the Word document into here. So now that we have a 53-page document. So it has the entire book here placed in. So that's if we want to place text across the entire page here within the margins, and we're laying out a book, for example, and we're not going to be using columns. We just have one column. So let's go over how to place a document into columns when it's not just one column on the page. So let's go ahead and go to File, New, Document. And this time, instead of columns being 1, let's set this to, say, 4 for this example. And a column gutter is just the distance between the columns. We want at least one pica between most elements. Some elements like photo captions and photo credits that go with the photos might be a little bit closer than that, but generally when we have a photo grid or we have text columns, we want at least one pica in between. So that should work fine. Let's go ahead and click Create. And now when I go to File Place and I select Alice in Wonderland, click Open, and if I hold Shift, click and let go, that will flow that through the entire document and add pages as needed, and they all have 4 columns. So now we're at 40 pages. Now one thing to look out for is you don't want to have too many columns, because what can happen is you only have 1 or 2 words on a line. You know, something like that would be too skinny of a column. We want to make that a little bit wider for that font size. So this could have 2 columns, this could have 3 columns, 4 columns, but I think 5 columns for this page size and that font size would be a bit much for this layout. And we can also adjust columns after the fact. So let's go to File, New, Document. And then for this example, let's set it to 1 column. So we don't have 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. We just have 1 column. And click Create. And I can go to Layout and then Margins and Columns and then set it here. So for example, I could set this to 4 columns like the other example, or we could set it to 2, whichever we want. Now if I go to File, Place, and place that document and hold Shift, it will flow it through the document. But notice that page 2 and beyond is only 1 column. So I could go here and change it. Go to Layout, Margins and Columns, 2, but I would have to manually change this here. So I can click and drag this over like so. Click and drag that over. and so on. So it is important to set up the columns correctly to begin with, so it's consistent across the pages. So we can change the columns of many pages at once. By default, it's just the page that we're on and we have selected. But if I navigate here to page 4 and just click it in the Pages panel and then hold Shift and click the last page, and then I go to Layout, Margins and Columns, and change the number of columns, it will change it for all of those pages. But I've already placed the document in here, so it goes across both columns. So again, I would need to adjust that as needed. One thing we want to look at in terms of professionalism of a layout is whether or not the columns are aligned. So a common mistake that students make is they will lay out 2, 3, 4 columns on a spread, on a page, and the text is barely not aligned. So this is really the title, so we would want to create that in a different text frame. So just go to Edit, Copy, Edit, Paste, or Control or Command C and V as far as a shortcut to copy that title and paste it as a new text frame. And I'm going to click and drag the top of those text frames to align them. So if these two text frames are aligned, notice the smart guides there with the green arrows and the lines, this text should be aligned. And we can check this by going to the top and click and drag off the ruler and just create a guide here right at the baseline of the text. So notice that this text is perfectly aligned. So unless we have some areas where the leading or the spacing is different in between the text lines, or paragraph breaks have more lines than normal, it should be all aligned. Now obviously we have some double spaces here between text. So if we adjusted this, which I'm going to show in another video series, as far as indentation, instead of having space before and after paragraphs, that would all be aligned. So instead of having a double space in between paragraphs, or 1.5 spaces, or 2 spaces, whatever it is, we can just indent to delineate a new paragraph, and then all this text would be aligned with each other in terms of the columns. Because right now it's not aligned at the bottom there, but it is aligned at least at the top. Now there is yet another way to align columns. So let's go ahead and go to File, New, Document, and I'm just going to set it as one column. So we don't have any columns yet. And I'm going to add some filler text. So with the Type tool, just click and drag a new text frame, and I'm going to go to Type, Fill with Placeholder Text. And so we have some Latin text here that's just placeholder text. So instead of manually flowing this in columns, what we can do is click up here where it says 1. This is on the control panel. If I click up, it sets it as 2 columns, 3, or 4. And we can increase the gutter size if we want, but I'm going to keep that at 1 pica for this example. In another video, I'm going to show how to adjust this text. For example, instead of just having it left aligned with a right ragged paragraph, we could full justify it like this example, and you see that in some editorial publications. So it stretches or compresses the text as needed to fill in those columns instead of just having it left aligned. That really depends on the style guide and what look that we're going for in the publication. But that's how you add text, whether we're creating headlines just by typing in the text, or sidebar titles, or whether we're placing in Word document files or other type of files from word processing programs into InDesign and then flowing them in columns and aligning them as well, which is an effective design principle. Thanks.